Well, and basically, like, we had the option of running somewhere to get one, but Matt thought it would just be faster to run to Best Buy right next door, buy it, and then return it when we were done.
Yeah.
So that's the reason we bought one.
Welcome to the Xbox modding session with the G2B Drunk Crew.
Yeah, we are kind of buzzed right now, and we are modding Xboxes tonight. Rob, why are we modding Xboxes tonight?
Well, we have to have a whole bunch of them ready for GameholeCon, where we're going to be running Mech Mania.
That is a good way to put it.
Boom.
We are going to be. That one worked. Excellent.
Yeah, I'm up to the. I didn't copy both files.
Okay. We are going to be running We are going to be running Steel Battalion at GameholeCon.
Yep.
But not just any Steel Battalion. So Travis has managed to collect up all the files with all the cracks. So literally, we will be playing a full version of 10 Xboxes, which is the maximum you can do, and 10 Steel Battalion controllers. With full access to all the game maps, all the mechs, everything is fully accessible in this game, which is pretty darn unusual. Again, Travis went through a whole bunch of work. As the files became less and less available, Travis has managed to back up and collect all the files. So we now have all the Xbox hacks, and we can actually hack these to play a full version of Steel Battalion. So we will be running Steel Battalion Line of Contact. We'll be doing mainly free-for-alls, where it's everybody for themselves, but we may do a few 5-on-5 versions, depending on who signs up for the game. So, that being said, we've got to make sure we have lots of Xboxes available. The controllers are damn reliable. Xboxes, on the other hand, not so much. Yeah, it's hit or miss on that. So we're modding up a whole bunch of Xboxes to make sure that we've got more than enough. If any of them go down over the weekend, we'll just swap them out and put a new one in. So to mod them, basically, we are soft modding them by adding a certain amount of files to them, and then we'll put these Steel Battalion files on them. Not that we couldn't just play it off the disc, but then you don't get all the hacks and fixes. And that's always the issue that comes into play with the Xboxes. They have to be hacked to run the full version of Steel Battalion Line of Contact. And because the servers are no longer available, it's the only way you can play the game.
So what we're doing here is basically we're side-loading a Linux distribution so you can run XBMC, which is now Kodi, which is like fucking every Android stick runs the spiritual successor to this. But originally it was called XBMC for Xbox Media Center. It was originally for the original Xbox. You could use modded Xbox so you can play your video files. You could network it on your machine, like connect to your computer, and you can play video files across your network, or load add-ons so you can stream stuff to it. So like this was like before you had your Android sticks and shit like that. The software originally ran on the original Xbox. So what we're doing here is we are loading some extra files. We've got basically USB that will emulate a memory card for the Xbox. Ryan has a memory card with the files on it as well. But you can actually mod a USB with like a little adapter to load files off the USB as well. And we are running a game exploit. The most common one is Splinter Cell. So you can use Splinter Cell. You can use for Splinter Cell you can use the original or the Platinum Hits edition. There is also Mech Assault 2, Lone Wolf. That one has a Platinum Hits version which does not work. They passed the exploit in that one.
So explain what the exploit is.
It's an exploit where you'll download some files to side load into an installer.
So the games allowed you to save your game. Well, what they did was they put the exploit in the game save so that it loads.
Yeah, it's side loading. That's what we're getting into. So basically, you're loading up a fake profile for the game, and rather than load up the save game, it's booting it into a side loaded program that you can use to further exploit it and kind of install here. So once we kind of get into the soft mod installer via the Splinter Cell exploit, we're going to back up our files. So basically, with the Xbox, it's a very intricate piece of kit. This is kind of the first gen of consoles that kind of started to get pretty close to a computer. Obviously, Xbox stands for DirectXbox, but the problem is basically the hardware on it is very interesting. It's not quite a computer to the point where there still really isn't great Xbox emulation out there. So there's some really kind of weird things you have to do. Things like, for example, the hard drive is locked specifically with a key code to your CD-ROM drive. That's one of the things that's an issue. You can't just by default stick another drive in there. It's got its own like master code that's attached specifically to the hard drive in there. So if you want to upgrade the hard drive, you gotta like back that up and hot swap it. There's some really weird things you kind of have to do. The system files are a little weird. They're hard locked to different models, so you can't just download. If you screw this up, like if you're copying the files over, something goes wrong, you lose power, somebody trips over a power cable, it doesn't copy over properly. You can't just go online and download the files to bring it back. You have to have one specifically for this model. So Xbox had a few different models with different drives. They had like Thompson drives for a while. They had Samsung. They had a few different iterations. So there's different firmware revisions of these. So if you brick it, it's very tough to kind of bring back from the edge because you have to have the firmware and the updates specifically for that model. You can't just copy a standard dashboard back.
Right, and if the drive becomes locked, and you can't unlock it, you literally have to reprogram an E² PROM that's in here with the proper code for that drive, or you'll never get back in. It doesn't matter what you do. So if a drive fails, whether it's a hard drive or the CD-ROM drive fails, they're locked to this motherboard. You just can't swap them out with another system that you may have laying around. You literally have to go in, reprogram the E² program with the proper code for that drive or that CD-ROM drive. That's where hot swapping comes into play. So what you do is you put another hard drive in there and it says, oh, hey, the code for this one should be, and sets that code back on the new hard drive. But if you don't have it set right, it won't work.
The good news is, again, this all sounds pretty daunting. There are lots of videos out there, and the software that's made to mod this stuff is pretty foolproof. So for example, right now, I'm backing up both the EEPROM backup for kind of the core code, as well as the dashboard for that specific version like I was talking about. So if anything goes wrong, I have that stuff on the drive, I can kind of pull it back to it with some external tools. On top of that, it doesn't let you mod it until you've done it. It does a self-check to see, hey, have I done a backup already? It's not going to let you go any further without it. So there are kind of some safety features in place. I'd say on a scale of 1 to 10, depending on what you're doing, it's a solid 6 out of 10 to an 8 or 9 out of 10, depending on how many extra features you want to do. But the basic bare bones mod is pretty simple. There are plenty of videos online you can follow. It used to be a really, really popular way of making a cheap media center.
Yeah, and it's the reason XBMC originally came out on the Xbox.
Yeah. So again, I made a couple of backups. This softmod side loader has a couple of things you can do. It's got Evo X, which is kind of like an Xbox style dashboard with some extra features to it, so it kind of looks like the original menu. But there's also XBMC you can do as well. So all the requirements are passed, so I'm going to go ahead and have a copy of the dashboard of that one. Looks like he's backing up the other one here.
Excellent. So the new memory sticks worked?
He just did it from his memory card. I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, so...
Well, you have all the...
No. You can't... Here's
no, this... You wanted
okay, so this is just for the side loader. Here's the other problem. With bigger files and stuff, you're going to have to probably do it. You can't really transfer files normally. You could via their file explorer once you have it cracked, but a lot of it you have to FTP over.
Right.
Because it only accepts up to a certain size of files.
So this is where it gets to... So there's a program, and some of you might be familiar with, called
Standard,
CoinOps.
yeah, standard, yep.
So CoinOps is
And then
a
Unleash
great
X.
new life on these old Xboxes. But the problem with CoinOps is it's large. I mean, it's extremely large. First of all, you have to put a new hard drive in it. It won't work on the original hard drives. The original hard drives were 20 meg or 40 meg. So they were fairly small hard drives. You really need at least a 250 minimum, but 500 is better if you want to run the full CoinOps on it. And the problem is, the FTP on these is painfully slow. I can't
It's
even...
100 megabit, I think. They didn't get gigabit.
No, it's 10 megabit. Yeah, it's only a 10 megabit. It's not even 100 megabit. It's not even a 10 slash 100.
I let mine run all night.
Yeah, it's literally a 10 megabit interface in there. So transferring stuff via FTP to here, like you said, you start it and go do something else. Because you got a day while it's transferring.
The other thing too is since it's an older system, you're getting max of 100 megabits if you're lucky.
No, it's 10.
Sorry,
It's 10. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's tough.
It's painfully slow to FTP stuff to it. But the nice thing is you use something like God, what FTP am I thinking about? That does auto retry.
You're gonna want to remove the game when you're done.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Once it fails. And you
It just
say,
redoes it anyways. It's a very good program for doing that because it knows, it keeps track of where it's at. If it has issues, it just restarts it.
So again, now that it's actually soft mounted here, let's see. So we'll now finish. Yeah, I can remove the game. Just follow the instructions here. It's got a second step it's got to do apparently on this one. I haven't seen this usual. It's got to be specific to that dash, I'm going to guess. Yeah, because that one went right into it. This one apparently has another step to finish. What?
Using the same memory stick. Right?
No, but again, like I said
Oh,
earlier,
maybe the
different revisions
versions
of
Of the
hardware model.
motherboard.
This one gave me a message saying, hey, this has got dash 3601 or some shit like that. Please remove the game, you know, continue with prompts, blah, blah, blah. This one kicked right in. So, again, that's the problem is that Xbox went through a fair amount of different revisions. Some of the earlier models are fucking finicky as hell. So... And now, just like that, we are there. So now that we've got these, so basically we're in a nice, this is technically soft modded. Like, you could upload emulators, you could upload XBM, you can get XBMC on here and run that. I'm just running Unleash X because we're just using these for one purpose, is to run a copy of a modded Steel Battalion. Yeah. What?
CPU's temperatures are way different between the two.
Yeah, like, different revisions, that one's dirty as fuck.
Yeah, that's what
that
I
is
get to. Is like,
wait,
this
is that one of the ones
one's
I had? The ones I have are filthy.
This one's pretty bad.
I got them at I found them at some guy had a whole bunch of shit. He sold me a ton of stuff.
So now that what we're gonna do here is we've got them soft modded. That's I guess pretty easy to soft mod. Not you gotta have a little bit of hardware. It's cheap. It's easy. There's a lot of things you can do from that. But what we're gonna be doing is installing a modded version of Steel Battalion Line of Contact. I've got both the Steel Battalion Line of Contact ISO as well as the update files from Xbox Live, which is kind of the critical part. The original Xbox Live shut down fucking 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
So they officially stopped supporting the original Xbox. Obviously, they don't run a network for it anymore. So a lot of those files are gone.
Right.
Um,
and this is again, this is something where Travis is seeking out these files and backing all these files.
I've got links online on how to mod this stuff. There are again, it was really hard to come by. So
Yeah.
And again, I'm willing to share if anybody ever is interested.
Just
mods.
PM Travis. He will get you the files.
But the first thing we're going to want to do is get these online so I can actually transfer the files we need to them. So we're going to go ahead and set some static IPs.
Static IPs.
Yeah.
You got static IPs.
What? I didn't.
You don't have to. You can run on DHCP. But we're running a dumb switch, and then they have
Oh,
to
you
plug
got
in.
dumb switch. Okay.
We have to plug in a router network. Otherwise, we're just going to create a closed network.
Okay.
It's way easier.
Rob, I took the beers out of the freezer.
So we're going to make that
Anybody need one?
192.168.06, and then the gateway is 192.168.01.
Right. So basically, he's going to set up a little LAN and put those put these on that little LAN file. Cold beers.
I've got one.
It doesn't take the changes until you reset.
192.168.
06.
Trump.
No, I'm good.
All right. The rest of them good.
No,
I need
gateway is
to
192.168.01. Other Cat 5 cables?
Yes, I bought. They were in that bag. I stuck out.
Yeah.
Oh no, you know what? I bet you I was in the car. Hold on, I'll get some Cat 5 cables.
All right.
Gateway 2? Or do we not?
Gateway is 01. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect from Rob's network. And
Wait, how's the gateway and the subnet thing?
no subnet. You don't need a subnet. We're not going online.
Oh, it's already set. Shoot.
Rob,
Yeah.
you should come up and get some cables with me.
Oh,
Yeah,
so you guys are gonna be
yeah.
gone for like 15 minutes.
I'm telling you.
I'm gonna go out and get the cables because they're.
I'll bring the cables back down.
We're gonna be gone for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
No.
That's why we're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
we'll take the show back. We'll be in just a few minutes, and then like half hour later.
Yeah. Hold on. Just a
I don't
second.
have all night. I'm sorry, guys. Like, I gotta
What are you
keep this
saying?
moving. Oh, I had other plans, so I gotta like. Alright. So 192.168.
Be right there, Tom. Busy spending money.
He bought the rest of those mini arcades today.
No, I did not. Although I should.
You paid your cable bill.
So yeah, now that they're again we've reset them or whatever, we should be able to plug them in. Again, you're not gonna get any IP because it's not plugged in. There's nothing in the back yet.
Yeah.
So once we do, it should come up with that static IP that we set. And then I'm gonna use this computer. FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol. It's a nice, convenient way. It's been around for forever to transfer files to devices if you can connect to them via your network. So.
Yeah, it's okay.
The things will be transferring over again. I've got, like I said before, I've got 3 things. We've got the ISO for Line of Contact. I do have like 6 or 7 discs of the original game, and those would work technically. But it's nice to have another. That's one more moving part you have to bring along with you when you're fucking running the game.
Yeah.
But so I've got an ISO of it.
Cat podcast.
I've got the save game, which has the unlocked files.
Wait 1 second.
By default, Steel Battalion only comes. The Line of Contact game is multiplayer only. So back in the day, it was not a problem because you could hop on Xbox Live, you could play against other people, you can unlock mechs and stuff. But now that Xbox Live is gone, you are locked to 2 mechs and 2 maps by default. So whenever I see these setups, it's like a damn shame because I saw them and I'm like, okay, I get like 5% of the game.
Right.
That's kind of what started me on the quest to actually figure out how to get this running.
So, and I don't know the number. What is the number of mechs and maps in the full game?
About 20 different maps.
Right. So.
I don't know how many maps. There's about 12, I think.
But that's a big difference. And the mechs you get when you have it fully open, some of them are freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So basically, when you have the 2 mechs, they're both level 1 mechs.
They're like,
so,
yeah, your first generation.
So what they did,
demo,
what the game would do to make you play the game more often was it started with a fairly crippled game. You had a smaller screen, your controls weren't as good, but as you got to the next gen mechs, the screen size increases, and the amount of weaponry and so on you have access to increases. So by the time you got to the 3rd level, the difference is night and day between a first gen mech and a 3rd
Well,
gen.
yeah. And so in this game, Steel Battalion Line of Contact, it was meant to be like a full campaign.
Right.
So you would actually connect to the Xbox Live server, and you would join like a digital war. So they would have it would go by weeks, and every week it was a new step in the campaign, and it would change depending on who won the battles. How many? Basically, you'd fight for a side, or the Hai Shi Dao or the Pacific Rim Forces, and then every week, depending on the performance of each side, it would change the maps. So you'd play on different levels. You'd unlock mechs for your side, but you couldn't just unlock them. You actually had an account that had something called sortie points, and you'd buy them from the store. So it was legitimately like being in war. You were a mercenary for a certain side, and you actually had to like save up your points and buy them, and once you had them unlocked, you could use them in kind of a like local network play. But initially, you had to be part of that campaign and play against other people.
And the thing about the game, which we always stress, eject.
Yeah, that was the other thing too. Is like, I'm glad I have a backup of these files because, just like in the first game, in this multiplayer mode, if you don't eject, it will delete your profile.
Right, and you are
and
done.
I have to copy the files back.
Right,
over,
you
so.
lose all the expansions. So if you were playing on a regular basis in the campaign and you didn't eject from your mech and you got killed, you had to start from square one every time.
I kill Travis all the time.
Right, and the problem was that starting from square one didn't mean that you, oh, hey, I already got this experience. No, you started from square one. It would take you time to get back to where you were.
It was a mech roguelike then.
Yeah? Oh, I guess so. Now that you mention it. All right, let's go.
That's
They're
like starting over
randomly
again.
Bye forever, guys.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, again now.
I got 2 Xboxes in here. Grease Lightning's in there. The other one's there. I'm sure we'll be back.
Oh, yeah, we'll be back.
So basically, now that they're networked up, I've got IP addresses for each of these. I'm gonna log in to each of them via FileZilla is my FTP of choice, and then just go ahead and connect.
Which normally they make the password easy. Xbox.
Yep. 0.5.
Can you do multiples?
Nope.
No.
Yeah, here again, they're very old devices.
No, I meant
Multiple sessions.
Can you push with FileZilla multiple?
You can, but here's the.
It's better to just go one at a
One at a time, because what'll happen is sending it isn't a problem. Receiving the data, it gets mixed up really easily. It does not handle multiple connections very well, even if you're pushing out data from one source.
Wow, this one actually had a. This one actually had a backup of another game on it. So somebody already had it.
No,
Power Stone?
So
Power Stone.
Yeah, you never played Power Stone?
No.
It's okay, my dad sucks at it.
Oh! That's
Really bad.
So how big is the files that you're moving over?
I'll find over in just a minute.
It's
It's like a couple of gigs. If
Whoa, this one might need, this one's like a 2.5 gigs available. So we might have to do a little cleanup on this guy.
Yeah, I've got one. It's a little less than 2 gigs.
Okay.
So we got
this
one-
one has 2.3.
The game is 1.3 gigs, and then the other files are peasily. So, fuck me. Let's see.
Xbox.
So, contact the update. So we're gonna upload those. I'm getting the full. And again, that's the other thing that's nice too. Is like if you do it, just get yourself a dumb switch, closed circuit, like set a few static IPs. There's plenty of videos on how to mod your Xboxes. Because in the day, like this was really fucking popular. Is putting an XBMC on these. And again, it's way faster that way. I'm getting like the full 10 megabits per second rather than dicking around on somebody else's home network.
Didn't you already have a ton of modded Xboxes?
Yeah, but I mean, we gotta get more.
More is better, right?
We have some more sitting around. Some of them have died. Like I had 5, and like I had 5 from last year's, and I haven't used them since. I legitimately had my Steel Battalion stuff on the shelf. 3 of them went bad.
Really?
Yeah.
From what?
Just
Sitting.
They were kind of like Xboxes already. They were kind of finicky. And again, they just kind of kicked the bucket. So.
Probably after running for a full day for.
And I didn't
Right.
just use them for that. I mean, I used them for NetFest. I used them for Mech Day.
Oh yeah.
I used them for a
They
couple
still
other
run.
Friends events and stuff like that too. They kind of got beaten around, so.
I mean, you like buried them though, right?
No, I have like
Oh no,
toys
you
and
probably
children.
kept them for spare parts, didn't you?
Yeah, I've got. They're nice. Like again, cosmetically, they're in decent condition, so I'll just kind of like hold on to them and probably replace
This
them.
one's in great condition.
Yeah.
How is this one? Dust and dirt and all.
So this is the kind of this is kind of the boring part here. I'm waiting. It shouldn't take too long, but again, it takes a little time for it to transfer everything over. Luckily, we're only doing a gig and a half. About 75% done already.
7 is next, right? For IPs?
Yeah. I did 5 and 6, or we did 5 and 6. Alright, so that one should be successful. I'm going to start the connection to the next one real quick and then test, finish up the first one we started. So create a new folder called games. Xbox. And install these two. Alright. So for the first one we did here, we'll go ahead and check. So should be able to try to reboot this real quick. Good job hitting with the same time.
They're like, but this one's slow because it's Xbox. Look,
Alright, so now that I've rebooted it, I see I got 2 things here. I've got the line of contact in, and then the update. So this is basically a hacked version of the save files, or a hacked version of the Xbox Live updates. So basically, people modded it. So they had the official Xbox magazine, and this was before Xbox Live was like widespread and everybody fucking had internet connection. So a lot of times they'd release updates on Xbox magazine CDs. So they actually took the loader from the Xbox magazine CDs and then replaced it with their own files.
oh,
So this is the kind of the dashboard you'd use. So yeah, basically this was back when we got demo discs and everything.
okay.
And those
that's
demo
how
the demo
Steel
discs,
Battalion
some of the demo discs came with game updates. So
Okay.
people pulled apart the demo disc
Oh,
and then
pull out.
they pulled out the installer and then replaced it with their own files. So this was an update you only originally got on Xbox Live, but people patched it into an offline disk loader so you could install it via FTP or whatever you want. So I went ahead and Oh yeah, I probably have to create a profile real quick, and then I can upload the save file. So I'm launching Steel Battalion Line of Contact for the first time. We'll see if it bitches at me. I don't think it should, for not having a controller in there. I think I can get to the menu without it. So we're gonna be a little trouble. Forgot about that part. Yeah, so this is where we're gonna be at for now. So, but we are modded. We got the files on there. We can work on that part later. So. So I got the save files on there, got the updates. We launched a new Steel Battalion, and that's pretty much it for these. So we'll pop on to the next one.
That's one of Larry's.
Yeah, I'll get a Larry file going here.
This is Larry's other one, but it won't get past Xbox.
Okay.
Put his good one in the box,
Gotcha.
and then I'll put the bad one next in the box.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Because it'll come back to that one. Because it won't get past, like, booting to anything. So I'll grab Rob's. With extra dust. Here's everything. I grab that.
Goodwill special for $10. Yeah, we'll give these a little TLC once we're finished loading them up. Dust is.
Whoa, look, this one comes with extra bags.
Let's see if this boots up first. Okay, so it's got a stuck drive. So usually if the drive's stuck, you can first kind of start wiggling around, see if it pops out. If not, there is a little pinhole you can use to kind of pop through. I've got little zip ties. I can see how I can use that to kind of finagle. A little too big. Actually, it looks like there might be something stuck in that hole. Cool.
Oh, while you're doing that, I will copy the files on.
So yeah, basically just stuck something in that hole there and press the eject button. I was able to kind of break that for you. Once it's soft mounted, again, there's plenty of other stuff you can do with it. So
No, wait, is it gonna
Alright, so one of two of Larry's is dead.
What? How do you know?
I watched.
Oh,
I'm watching the video. So, okay.
well, we just have to get a little more
A little,
convincing.
right.
Oh, that looks like one of mine.
It is.
yeah, we're
It's
on
your,
yours.
it's your Goodwill special.
Yep.
But hey, the good news is Travis got the drive out, so.
There you go.
We also don't have Steel Battalion controller with us, so we can't fully finish these.
But no, all we gotta
Or
do is.
95%
yeah,
of the way.
exactly.
I don't need like.
So did the second one of mine boot?
I don't know which is.
The,
These two are yours.
Are mine, yes. So this one's done? No, this one's done.
You can copy the files to 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I was already working on
Oh,
it as long as you
They're
turn it
going
off.
right now, yeah. So right. So this one, so we haven't tested the second one. This is the one I was more worried
All right,
about. Actually,
that's done. Turn it off and turn it back on.
Oh wait,
Oh,
you have no screen right now, so
gotcha. Yeah.
I will move it once both these are copied. We'll move it over to this one to check the
Right.
completion.
Well, actually, this is you're still working off the bottom one here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're soft mounting the
So-
second one.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, good. Yeah, I figured if I didn't mark them, I generally mark ones that are bad when I pre-test them.
Peas on.
What's that?
You pee on.
I do. I mark everything. I've marked everything in this room, at least
Yeah.
once.
Don't turn on the black
Me
light.
too.
Yeah, do not turn on the black light. It will not be pleasant.
That's bad.
No, it's true.
Oh, that's audio.
That's audio, yep.
My color
So
blindness.
now you're gonna want to reboot that one. When you after you're done transferring the file, you gotta restart it, or it's not gonna recognize. That's sad. There we go.
Is this like a world record? How many of these can we
Yeah,
get?
we're
The
gonna.
thing is the soft mounting is easy. So again, the soft mounting is easy. Getting XBMCs on it easy. The hardest part is if you want to start uploading a lot of games as backups, or
So which one do you want
by
to do?
default. The update, the second one. That's a big problem. Is by default these only came with 8 gigabyte hard drives, which was huge at the time. It was only supposed to be
Was it
for
only
a memory
8?
card. 8
Yeah,
gigs.
Oh, for some reason I was thinking
For
it was
the-
great.
It
for
formatted to like 7 something.
A launch, a 2000 launch. That's a
I
pretty
know,
big
that's
deal.
bad,
Like
yeah.
this was the first console to have its own built-in hard drive right off the bat.
Right, right.
So like that was a big deal. You didn't have to like you had a memory card. The memory card's 8 megabytes by default, which is like crazy. So like having an 8 gig where you could save all your games, like that was a huge fucking deal.
Is it done?
So if you wanted to upload a lot of custom software to these, unfortunately, you gotta change out the hard drive, and that's not easy because you need. There's some clever ways you can kind of get around it, but it's not reliable. So for the most part, you need to get older style SATA hard drives,
Yeah.
which again
IDE.
are ID, yeah, not
Right.
PATA.
Well, you can get
PATA.
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 Yeah,
Right.
parallel ATA. my
Right,
bad.
right. But you can do.
You can do mods for SATA,
But
it's not very
tricky.
reliable. You have to. The biggest thing is finding a converter that works. The people that make them, there were for about 5-7 years ago, there were a fair amount of people making those adapters that were a lot reliable. They're not nearly as common anymore. You don't have a reliable source of where to buy them from. And the biggest thing is they need to fit inside the case. You need to either mod the inside of the case so you can kind of stick it in there, or get one that's small enough so you can jam it in
Or
there.
leave the case open.
Yeah, or leave the case
The
open,
top
which
one's
is
done, right? No.
I don't know.
No, the top one.
It's not done. I think you're still working on the bottom.
Yeah, I wasn't keeping track of that side, so I just know the one we had plugged
Yes,
in.
no, the top one.
Also, you installed the update from that launcher, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, hit the launcher.
I was too busy talking. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, so.
You hit the launcher and you installed it, right?
Yeah, and then it rebooted right away?
Yeah, yeah,
Or it was really quick, right?
yeah. It's really quick.
And then I ran the full thing and it said there's no controller.
Right, and then it won't run. But that's fine. That's exactly what it should do.
Let me go back to this one. Quick. This one's further than that one.
So yeah, back to the drives again. You have to find yourself a PATA hard drive. They're older style, so they're not really in mass production anymore. So you have to find a used one that's good, has decent space. Realistically, PATAs, you're gonna look at the 200, 250 gig range is kind of the common. You can find some bigger ones. I mean, I've seen them go up to almost a terabyte.
Yeah, but generally it's
they're
going to be like
they're very
in the
expensive.
two-ish
No,
area.
They're very expensive because they're older and there just isn't a supply of them like there used to be. So you're gonna have to basically find one, and then on top of that, once you get that hard drive, is you're gonna have to basically halfway take apart the case and do what we call a hot swap. So basically, take off the top cover, right? Yeah, like that. We're gonna be you have to find an external power source for your secondary drive.
Oh yeah, nice little
Power, yeah.
power brick. That
power
has
brick or
the
something so you
Old,
can- Or hook it, or you can hook it up to your computer. You can take apart your computer. You can
Right.
take your Molex connector
Yeah.
from that, plug it. Yeah, running.
as long as it's running, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep your computer on the Molex, and then basically run a program, and then pull the cable while it's running, and put on the other one. So basically, like I said earlier, the CD-ROM drive has a key on it that's specific to that console. It's generated from the console, and it locks and unlocks the hard drive. So when you start up the Xbox, at this part, it's unlocking the hard drive. Then you have to go into the program while it's unlocked, swap the hard drive, copy over the information, and then lock it with that key.
Yeah.
So it can be kind of a pain in the ass. It's a little. There's videos. I would watch a video of somebody doing it because it's
That, if you're going to brick one of these, that's where you're going to brick it. You're going to brick it during the hot swap.
I've swapped.
Soft mounting, like Travis said, has gotten to be a fairly step-by-step process.
yeah. I mean, we're on
But-
like our fourth one right now.
But swapping the hard drives, and that's why we're not swapping hard drives on these.
Yeah, we only need these for a single purpose. We're using it for one game. You
Right.
know,
Right.
it's not that big a deal. But if you're looking to do some elaborate stuff like coin ops, things like that.
I literally built a dedicated system, an XP system, with an open frame, because also the motherboard you have in your PC makes it whether you can hot swap it or not. Some of the newer controller boards won't handle those. So you had to have a particular type of controller on the motherboard that would understand the hot swap and pick up the new drive. So even that became very specific. So I literally have an open frame system that I do this hot swapping on. It's really a process.
Oh shit. Oh, well. It's gonna fail. It doesn't. Again, you gotta be careful.
But it's really,
We're doing too many at once, probably.
Well, we're talking and like,
Right.
again, I wasn't really planning on recording, so.
right. So again, there's just a lot you have to take into consideration. Like Travis said, if you're going to do this, watch the videos. Take a little time. Do it when you have a chunk of time to do it. Don't try to do this on the quick or on the cheap. Take your time, set yourself up in advance, make sure you have everything you need ready to go, and then do it.
Yeah, again, it's not really hard.
It's just time consuming, and you need to be focused on what you're doing. One misstep, one small goof up, and that's it, you brick the unit. Not that you can't bring them back from a brick, but bringing them back from a brick is a very difficult process. That's when you have to start literally tying into a chip on the motherboard, the E2 PROM, and reprogramming in the codes, and that's unbelievably difficult. That one didn't boot.
No, or you wait to find one at Goodwill now for $20.
Yeah, which is basically what we do. Not that we haven't bricked one or two. We set them aside for future use or for future parts.
You can save the power supply. You can save other things.
Right, the controller board, the LED board, all that's reusable. The only thing that's not reusable is the motherboard, the CD-ROM drive, and the hard drive. All of those get locked to the motherboard, and if you brick it, those 3 items are no longer of any use to you without unbricking it. And unbricking it is not impossible, it's just not for the faint-hearted. At all. No, so literally...
But it is for the reckless and drunk.
Yes, one time I was unbricking it, and I managed to burn out a serial port on my PC trying to unbrick one. So, they can be unbricked, but it's not an easy process. You literally have to touch pins to a chip, because the chip is soldered onto the board, and you have to clip onto that chip and try to send signals to it. It's a nightmare. There are lots of good utils out there for working with Xboxes, though, as well. So, they're still readily available. I don't think, I can't...
Tools are available, but they're not going to run on your machines.
No.
You're lucky to run it on 7, an XP box is best.
Yeah, no, definitely if you're doing this, set yourself up an XP system. And not a virtual, you really need a genuine XP on an older motherboard.
On an older motherboard with the connections and stuff.
Yeah.
There's some XP utilities like X360 Explorer, things like that, where you can actually, it uses, I forget what the name of it is, not FATX. It's a weird FAT system.
Right.
It's like a kind of a spin-off on your original FAT16. I think it's maybe called FATX. But it's got its own partition style. And there's actually some utilities you can actually read the data off of it if you plug it into your computer. You kind of lock and unlock, and it helps unbrick. But you got to kind of get that stuff set up ahead of before.
Right.
And then again, that utility only runs in XP. I haven't got it to work on 7 or 10 for sure. So.
IP7.
Okay.
Up and running.
Yeah, I'm working on that one right now.
So I'll make the grease. What, lightning? What?
Grease lightning.
Grease lightning.
8.
Yep.
8.
Grease lightning.
All right, well, good. Those two did work.
Nice.
Oh.
Those were the ones
Grease
that we
lightning
tried
too.
that we weren't sure about the CD-ROM, but it was the CD.
And before the
itself.
show, we'll take some time. I'm gonna take them apart, dust them out with.
Oh
the
God,
camera
yeah,
and
those
shit.
two are filthy.
Yeah.
I mean, I got them dirt cheap, so they are disgustingly dirty. They definitely need a clean before we skin them, because we've got skins coming for all of them. We'll skin those up, but
Bleach
yeah.
wipes and.
Yeah, no, I mean, look at the amount of dust in those vents on the back of those things. They are going to need a good once over.
Wait.
So that one is finished transferring files. If you want to run the Steel Battalion updater on that one,
Okay. Just reboot, right?
yeah, reboot.
Good news, everyone. Is that really your?
That's
awesome.
You said 7 was the IP on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it?
And then this one's.
It's the top one here.
This guy.
Okay. I don't know why it's not connected.
I can double check it. Yeah, I did that. I can plug it back into the wire here. Because I'm rebooting this one anyways. So if you want to look at it and see if I did something wrong.
Yeah, just give me a moment here.
That's 7.
Yeah, sure, shit.
But maybe check
It's
that.
this one right here with the
No,
open
it's
top?
the top one.
Okay,
No.
I'm gonna unplug
Yeah, you
this.
can see the controller.
Settings, network. Yeah, it looks okay. I'm just gonna reboot it and see what we get.
and then I'll install update one really quick.
Yep.
Start Xbox, right?
And that's all we can do with it from there. So
Xbox.
Alright.
So that one's
This
mine.
wait, whose was this?
That's Rob's.
This was Rob's.
yeah, it's got that Goodwill sticker on the top.
You bet.
Go Goodwill.
Goodwill special, $10, dude. How can you go wrong for $10?
Well, it wouldn't have worked. I mean,
Well, that's true.
Then he wasted $10. But
yeah.
Well, you know, you take a
Look at I
chance.
just blew $10. So.
Yeah, you know something?
If you
Again,
can plug this one in the back of
it's
that
worth
other one,
checking for that price.
that's
Yeah.
neat.
It worked, so I'll win.
Wow, we have one that didn't have that must be your Grease Lightning.
Yeah, that's Grease Lightning.
Yes. Hence, yeah, again.
It's got a red light. I'm surprised. It usually works.
What?
It's showing a red light.
Oh, I probably unplugged it while I was rebooting,
Oh.
which means it probably says, "Hey,
Hey, there's no video connected to me.
The weird, smart enough to know there's no video. Right?
No, it does. Yeah, they won't. They will not boot if there's no video.
I'm angry at you.
They won't boot sometimes when they have.
That's true, but again, this is when council became a little bit more intelligent, a little bit more.
closer to computers.
Yeah. More. This is the first generation of modern era consoles. Well, this is going extremely smooth. Good.
Right, that's
Don't say
10.
that.
You made it 10?
I made it 10.
You've already got.
7 wasn't working, so
You're
and I changed the IP and it worked. So
there's already 4 done, so
it doesn't really matter what the IP is as long
Yeah.
as I can connect to it. That's really
Yeah, this other one.
that one's done now.
No, this is.
Oh, this is the-
this is
Rob's.
Larry's other one.
Oh, Larry's other one. So
It's
they-
just sitting at Xbox, doesn't get.
Okay,
Yeah.
this one may be bad.
But doesn't error or anything. It just.
I thought you got a message before with the
No,
screen.
that was the first one I figured out. What it was, I
The
didn't
Gold
copy
has the
both.
supercharger version of
There's 2 files on the memory chip.
Yeah. I hear the CD-ROM
Frogger.
drive trying to
what?
punch out.
the
This one I think
Atari
we-
Gold.
Do we have a paper clip?
The Flashback Gold has.
There is one of these without I stripped some of the shielding off of it.
Okay.
Has the
I don't know where it is. It's right
supercharger
here. somewhere.
version.
Although you can just-
Yeah. Give that a push. It sounds like the drive is stuck.
Frogger. That is
Oh.
not the version of Frogger that came out.
Yeah, the drive
Yeah,
is
it
stuck.
does say supercharger on it, doesn't it?
There it goes.
But there's nothing in it.
Okay, give it a second. No, it'll lock if
It
it's
still thinks it's.
right. It's trying to boot. Yeah, this one still may be dead.
Oh wait, Microsoft.
Oh, that came up. Okay, give it a few more moments then. There it goes.
There
All right, that was it.
we go. This guy.
It was trying to boot from the disk, but again.
It's like,
stuck.
hey, the disc is not there.
Yeah.
Oh wait. No, it doesn't want to. Do it. Oh wait.
There you go.
This one's just a little.
Another side thing here is, and again, this is a note they'll tell you in any of the tutorial videos you watch. Sometimes the issue is, by default on your Xbox, it only has a certain amount of connections.
It already has.
So if the connection, if you're
I don't
FTPing to
remember
it and it screws up for some reason, if it doesn't send a file properly, it's trying to resend it, it might technically establish multiple connections. To kind of get around that, by default the maximum number of users is 2. So you got your FTPing in, it might say, oh, it's failed, too many users are logged in. If it does say on the FTP client that too many users logged in, you can just go ahead and increase it to more users. I usually just set it to 10, and then usually you'll have to like reboot it to go ahead and kick it in. And the transfer should continue. Yeah, they'll tell you that in any friggin' video you watch about it, but I ran into it now, so I'm gonna go ahead and fix that. There we go. And away it goes.
How do you?
Yeah, that drive's sticky.
Once the files are there, they're needed. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
This thing has one purpose in life.
exactly. We do not need the drives once we get them loaded.
Alright, so all successful, it looks like.
Am I going the wrong direction?
No, you got it. It's just, it's there it goes.
Oh, yeah. Don't eat my disc.
Yeah, yeah. Once we get in there, we need to get it back out.
And how many others do you guys have laying around? Enough, right?
So here's the thing. So with these 2, I have 5 working systems now that have this setup on. Travis has got 2. Rob's got 3 now
Yeah.
because we're buying 2 of your systems tonight. Larry's got 1 or 2.
I got the one sitting. at
You've
home,
got
too.
1.
Yeah,
Jimmy's
yeah, the
got
other one was
1.
already pre.
Right, already loaded. We've already used it. So we should have enough to do the 10 plus a couple of extras, and I do want a couple of extras. We're talking about setting up one just for training on, and then it'd be good to have one or two in backup just in case we have issues.
No, it's.
I mean, we're talking about having these things run all day.
Yeah, for 3 days.
Yeah.
And the little fan on some of those chips is pretty small. I remember that.
Oh,
They
yeah.
make a lot of noise.
Yeah. Did it?
Yeah,
it did excellent.
We're good. Once it reads this, we don't need the CD no more, right?
Once you have it soft mode.
Yeah. It's smart enough to read Splinter Cell. That's all it's needing.
Pardon me. Alright, another one that's too many connections.
Oh wait, I forgot. Yeah, there we go. See, it yelled at me because I didn't back up. The MS backup.
Yeah,
So it didn't want me to do it. It was like,
It's a
don't
nice,
do it!
Nice catch-all to make sure it has that backup, because you're gonna want those files on there in case it does brick. You can actually recover the base dashboard back.
I'd like to thank all the hard people that figured out all this stuff to begin with, because
Right.
our job is easy.
Yeah, we're just
Their job was sitting there learning how to like figure out all this stuff to get around how to do this stuff on the Xbox.
Xbox.
That's probably why my Xbox One just plays Netflix still. But
Yeah, again, you know, a lot of serious fucking engineers put a lot of time into these systems originally.
You don't pass me that back.
yeah, we're just
To Microsoft's credit, they really did a good job locking these down to the point where they're still terribly locked
Yeah.
down to this day.
Again, the
Shit,
hardware
that's
for it's so
so
weird. There's still not really emulation for it.
No,
So
that's it. I mean,
really there's no.
there's no Xbox emulator.
No.
That works well.
Wow.
yeah, there are.
Considering it's practically a PC, it's surprising that.
It's got weird hardware.
Yeah.
Practically a PC is the
Yeah.
phrase there. It's a breed unto itself.
Yeah. Again, the file partition. It's got a really weird launcher and like pre-boot flash environment. It's very unique. It's been very hard to reproduce in an actual PC environment.
Yeah. Again, eventually PCs will get powerful enough where they'll be able to do it, but it's going to take a bit still.
Well, and the other thing too is like
It's
the mod scene
security,
for the
isn't it?
Xbox
I mean,
really
that's
hasn't
what's doing
picked
it.
up until lately.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't really there's now a whole lot of exclusives that drove people to say, hey, let's make an Xbox emulator for this. But the thing is for that generation, it's the best console when it came to the multi-platform games. It had better graphics and sometimes even more features than the PS2 and GameCube counterpoints of the generation because you could fit more on it. It had a better processor,
Right.
the graphics processing.
Goes back out. It had the built-in hard drive.
Well, no, that was part of it.
But the PS2 you had to buy the hard drive separately, and
No, it wasn't. The PS2's hard drive was kind of a different feature.
Yeah.
It didn't really work as like a memory card per se.
There
that
was
was-
like 3 games. That
They're
used
used
it,
for
right?
specific
Final
games like
Fantasy
Resident Evil Outbreak, which was an online Resident Evil game. Final Fantasy XI was the big one that was bundled with it usually. But the hard drive for the PS2 was a totally different purpose. It was pretty niche. You didn't really use it as a memory card. Unless
Oh,
you
really?
No.
see, because
That's totally different.
I came to it later.
Yeah.
I came to it by the time we'd already hacked it,
Yeah.
and you were using it for storage.
So yeah, and then again, the hard drive for this, yeah, it allows you to do some cool stuff, but really it's not as in a default Xbox. It really doesn't do a whole lot for it outside of storage. Being able to save stuff on there versus a memory card.
yeah.
But again, the hardware that in it is very powerful for its generation.
Wait, you can
That's
rip all
really-
your CDs to the Xbox.
Yeah, you can play
Your
custom
music-
soundtracks.
Your music CDs, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and play custom soundtracks
And play a
in your
whole-
games.
8 gigs of music.
Yeah, I really.
It's way bigger than the Zoom.
I'm
controller
trying
at
to.
the time.
Hey, no, Zoom came out after.
Oh, Zoom.
Yeah, that was like.
What was it? The Roxy? No, whatever.
The Zune had 16 and 32 gigabyte
No, what was
drives.
the one before it that there was like a. Who was it? They made one that almost looked like a CD player.
Really?
It was like, like 2 gigs or something.
Wow.
It was.
I don't remember that one. Roxio?
Roxio. Were they the ones that made some of those early MP3 players?
Roxio was big into CDs in the early
CDs.
days.
Yeah.
They made the
I'm trying to
first.
think who made it, but
They
it
had
was
some
like,
of the earliest burning software and so.
but yeah, I was almost would have bought one of those weird MP3 players back in the day, but I got my free MP3 player when I bought Windows XP.
You got a Zoom?
No, I got this little 16 gig meg. 16 meg.
16 meg. Okay,
MP3
16
player That you
meg.
could put a secure digital. No, what was MMC card? Those like flat. thin
Yeah,
ones
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That were like 16 megs,
Yeah.
so I could raise it up.
They
to
were
like
originally for
128
digital
megs
cameras,
or
yeah.
something like that. So I could put like
Wow.
a dozen songs on it.
Yeah. Well, they have a dozen
But I
songs.
also got my first router free with XP.
Ooh, see?
A router and MP3 player with XP.
Oh man.
This one's on 11, so if you're ready for the
Alright.
next network,
That one's done.
this guy.
All right.
The one
Then
without the top.
I think that's the last one we need to do, right?
Yeah, it got the disc open. We were able to.
That was
soft mod.
Larry's. We bought
Yeah,
both of
that's-
Rob's,
Yep.
And these
Alright.
are both of yours.
and those are both of mine. So
Wait,
that's
hold on.
it.
Quick.
So that's all 6 systems modded tonight, gentlemen. Wow.
Wait, it says 1.1.
That
Look
is
at the
kind of
1.1.
that is kind of
Wait,
speed.
hold on.
1.1's fine.
That's kind of speed modding.
Well, I can reboot.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's easier for me to change it here.
Yeah, gotcha.
I swear I see it as 1.10. There's
Wow, that was,
1.11.
again, that
No, it
was
should
very
have been
well.
1.11.
Yeah, right?
Sure about 11?
Damn.
I don't know.
1.1 you said?
I gotta say, so last time,
That may be bad. Let me.
Alright, yeah,
me,
go
get
ahead.
off
me
one
and
that one.
Travis were doing this a while back, and I had this just a junk switch laying around, and we found it worked really well for this. So Travis said, set this one aside and don't get rid of it. And I've held on to this switch ever since. It just works very well for doing Xboxes. It plays well. It's a dumb switch.
So-
I accidentally did.
It,
Thinking
no,
that, like,
it
the
is. It's
second
sold out.
thing was,
I literally only
maybe
use
11.
this when we're doing Xboxes. It's the only thing this switch is for. Is for getting shit onto Xboxes.
You had but
This-
one damn
The,
job.
the speed seems really good on it. It seems to mesh up very nicely. So it's all that switch is for. I literally keep this switch just for doing Xboxes. I agree. Oh, that one's gonna be a buggy one. That well, bring it, but it's gonna be that's Larry's funny one.
It's so
Hilarious.
hilarious. Because it's Larry.
It looks like it's got these whip marks on it.
Yeah.
He gets sexy with it. Who's your daddy? Yeah.
Surprising though, considering it's actually kind of clean. That one's in fairly good shape.
You're not a PlayStation,
Physical.
but I'll play with you.
Shouldn't you? Maybe it's just. Maybe
Is
it's
the CD
just-
stuck in it again?
No, there's no CD in there. But
Pop
maybe
over the
it's-
drive anyway.
Yeah.
it probably thinks it.
It
yeah,
thinks there's a
times-
CD in there. Do you have that wire? Yeah, pop that open. We can work around that. Nope. You can hear it trying to hit the drive.
No, there it goes.
Okay. All right.
0.11.
0.11? Thanks. Alright.
Tray open. See, it thinks right now the tray is open even though it's not. So yeah, this one's got a really fucked up CD-ROM
We'll
drive.
mod it so it's.
Right. Doesn't even do
I mean, I've
anything.
got a couple drives still. They just don't read very well. So if you guys want those, I don't know how.
You
long
can't
they are.
switch the drives.
You can't switch
You
them
cannot
either, they're
switch.
past
No,
this part?
no, they are.
Wow.
They are that locked. Even after you soft mod them, the hardware
Well,
has
I
to
have
stay
no
the
idea
same.
what
We were
those drives
just
go
talking
to
about that
anymore.
too.
Yeah, and
I thought maybe
well,
once they were soft modded,
again,
it'd be like a little more
it-
lenient.
You can okay. So if you have ones that are dull, you can hard mod them.
right.
If you put a chip in it that actually bypasses that security thing,
Okay.
but you actually have to get physical hardware, solder it to the board. You have to find the fucking mod chip, and in this day and age, is unreliable.
So maybe that's why both mine work, because I got both mine are Executor.
yeah, they got the executor
V2 or
mod on them.
V3
Yeah,
or something.
yeah. A lot of those had pre-built mods to get around that, so you could just throw in your own hard drive. That was a big selling feature of that. Again, you can if you want to hard mod your Xbox and install that. Some of those are way almost easier to do than the soft mod hot swap.
Actually, I thought this was when I did my, other than doing a SATA drive on a soft mod, the soft modding I thought was way quicker
yeah,
because I didn't have. Well, I guess you have to take it apart if you want to put a bigger drive in it.
yeah.
Either way, So
Yeah, the bigger, regardless, is like throwing a bigger drive.
I just
in there,
remember
so-
my hard mod. You had to get the little wire specifically into the hole in the motherboard that
Okay.
wasn't, it was like wasn't there. I mean, it was there, but it didn't do anything.
I'm gonna go ahead and steal this real quick.
Oh, is it again?
Wait, no, I mean, again,
Oh, it said a gateway mask. Or
don't worry about any of that.
oh, you just need more users.
Yeah. Again, I've been
Or
running
is it
this
just set that automatically when you save it?
Oh yeah.
Should we just bust the drive out of this one? Like, let it make it seem like it's been
And
outside.
then just snap it off. It's booting through.
Oh, good. Okay. 11. 0 users.
0.
We're connected again. Now it's copying.
1 users. I love watching the hard drive like drop down. It's working.
Always cracks me up
Except
when you
when it
open
says-
them up, how mushy they are inside. Like how
Oh.
everything's just kind of set in there.
Yeah.
They're held in by pressure, really.
Yeah.
Step 1. Switch all the hex screws with regular screws.
Yes.
Because once you do the hard drive mod, you don't want to
Ever-
look for that
ever
special
again.
screwdriver for the hex. Just put a freaking regular, whatever the other Phillips screwdriver in there or something. Phillips screw. These drives have the nice rubberized
Oh yeah, for sure.
cover
They're
on them. You know,
fancy.
for-
Not all of them were like that, actually.
I think the early
So,
generation.
Yeah. So okay, yeah. I mean,
I think
Seagate,
somebody told me also
Seagate,
like it was like
Hitachi, Thompson. Thompsons were the really bad ones that always failed.
yeah. But I thought some of the original drives were like a single platter.
Oh, it
With
could
the,
be.
where only the hard drive was only on the top or something like that. Like it didn't read both sides of the disk, and that was another thing that made it
All
more
right, should be
difficult
done.
than a regular
Go
hard
ahead
drive.
and boot it and try to launch that capture. Well, since we're finishing up, probably we can close it out.
Yeah, let's close it out. Hope you enjoyed this special after.
Yeah,
hours
yeah. If
edition.
anybody has any questions, just message Guys Games and Beer about modding. More than happy to send you links to any of the videos for modding and things like that.
Also, if you're interested in Steel Battalion, Travis has got a great collection of Steel Battalion mods, Steel Battalion videos.
Yeah, I've got basically all the old site rips. I've got this. Put that in your case.
All right.
I've got the site rips from all the old Steel Battalion sites. I've got the modded files for running the network stuff. If you want to, do your own line of contact stuff. There's pretty cool stuff like little tools for insignia editors. You can actually throw your own little custom logo on your Mac.
Which is freaking awesome.
Nobody ever sees it because it's a tiny little in the middle of the combat. But the fact that it's on there when you're modding your mechs is kind of cool. There's again, I've amassed pretty much everything Steel Battalion related. I've got like a 200-page Steel Battalion Bible with all the information on all the mechs and art assets and everything like that.
Right.
Because that stuff really, again, since when I started collecting it, a lot of the sites are gone now.
Yeah, no, that's it.
So
And if you are interested in trying out Steel Battalion, we will be at Midwest Gaming Classic.
and
Game Hole
I'm
Con.
sorry, Gamehole Con.
We'll be there too,
We'll
but
be there too. At Gamehole Con at November 2nd through the 5th, and we will be running, again, something that's very rarely done, a full Steel Battalion setup, 10 rigs.
There's one other group I know that does it regularly.
At
and that's-
PAX.
Yeah, at PAX. Those are the only other guys I know who do it the way we do it, with actually having everything unlocked and networked together properly. And again, I've got all the assets for it. It's a lot of fucking fun.
yeah,
Yeah!
yeah. So we're gonna stop.
Guys, Games and Beer out.
Yeah.
We out.